starting
Okay.
out, do anything and you will get better,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to like overthink it too much. But
Being
for
able to love yourself and, validate who you are without any form of expression of it. And that's why I feel like that's what true confidence is in my head. Because
It gives us a journey of self-discovery through our art. Yours might be music or film or writing.
Always been my outlook on everything in regards to life. If I see anybody who has anything, my default is if they can have it or if they can do it, so can I.
We get to
Yes.
speak. We get to do a podcast. We get to work out. We get to. It's a privilege that people often complain and take for granted.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Today is episode 52, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Kyle. Kyle, how are you doing today?
Hey, brother, I'm on a winning streak. I'm blessed. I'm grateful to be on this podcast, and I'm ready to just have a great time and share some beliefs, some words that need to be shared. Let's get it. I'm ready. I'm juiced up, brother. How are you?
Good, man. No complaints. So let's get straight into this thing. Can you just introduce yourself to the audience and explain what you do and kind of what you post on social media?
Yeah, of course. So for those of you who do not know me, it's a pleasure to meet you guys. My name is Kyle Massey. I am currently an online fitness and mental health coach. I am a huge advocate for mental health. I'm a huge advocate for self-improvement. I am obsessed with everything involving the mind, the body, and soul. And my mission, my purpose here on this world is just to leave every single person that I meet with the impression of increase and make the world a happier and healthier place in any way, shape, or form that I can.
Very well said, bro. So I want to get straight into when did you start your self-improvement journey and how has it evolved over time?
Yeah, that's a great question. My self-improvement journey. You know what, brother? I would say it definitely happened in college. I'd say
Okay.
my freshman year of college, that's kind of when I woke up to everything. I remember sitting in class and I was just so bored. And I just knew that this was not what I was supposed to do. Great. School's great. Encourage every single person to go, but you don't need it. It's not a necessity, right? So I was in college. And I just could not stop thinking about self-improvement. I could not stop thinking about the mind. I could not stop thinking about bodybuilding, training, YouTube videos. So I would just daydream nonstop. And I got to the point where I was like, I got to just get out of here and I got to just make it happen. And so I said, screw it. I'm going to drop out. I had a lot going for me. My family was not happy at all. Scholarships, you name it. I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. It's time to break out of the program, break out of the matrix per se, and live the life that I want to live. So I'd say it definitely started when I dropped out of school because that forced me to mold myself into the person that I knew I was capable of becoming. Because as a man, when your back's against the wall, you have to figure it out. And so, I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew that I was going to make this happen. I knew that this was what I was going to do, but I had absolutely no clue how I was going to do it. So one thing led to another, and I got into the gym. I got super, super hooked on the gym. I fell in love with training, and I just loved seeing how far I could push myself physically. So that's where my brand, Aesthetic Mind and Body Coaching, came about. It's because I'm a huge believer that the body follows the mind. And so, when you're training, it's all about visualization. It's all about contracting. If your mind's not in it when you're training, the muscle's not going to grow, not even from a scientific standpoint too. So, I would just be in the gym looking at myself, curling those 10 pounds when I was first starting out, like all of us. And I just would envision how I wanted my arms to look, and then I had some social proof for myself. And I saw oh dang, I'm actually like, my arms are getting bigger. Like, okay, like how much further can I take this thing up here? And so then I started like, how can I grow my chest? How can I grow my back? How can I grow my legs? And I just applied that and I just got hooked. And I was just like, how far can I take this outside of the gym too? Because like manifestation is everywhere. You're constantly creating. You become what you think about. So I'm like, okay, like I want to become this man that inspires millions of people to live a happier and healthier life, to go after their dreams, to do what it is that they want to do. But like I need to be the blueprint, like I need to be the guy that can pave the way for people. So I got to do it myself. So brother, I just started throwing a bunch of I started just throwing a bunch of darts on the wall, and eventually something stuck. And I found social media. I found that I was good at it, and I was like, let's make a fitness page. And then I made a fitness page on Kyle Massey fitness account about 6 years ago as one of the OGs before fitness pages were cool. Every single dollar that I spent went to supplements, food, training, learning. I worked at GNC just because I wanted to be around supplements. I wanted to learn about the body. I was making like $10 an hour, chum change behind the desk. Was so bored, didn't do anything. But with that time, I just invested all of that energy into editing videos. And posting pictures on my fitness account. And I just fell in love with it. And then one day I said, you know what, if this is what I want to be known for, I need to get off my fitness account and go onto my main, because I was holding back, because I made my fitness account because I didn't want people from school to judge me, because it wasn't cool. My fitness account, gym wasn't cool. Like posting physique wasn't cool. It was abnormal. And so I had like a breakthrough, and I was like, man, this is what I want to be known for. I cannot be afraid any longer. So like 2 years went by. I decided to stop posting on my fitness account, and I started posting on my main account, which is the Kyle Massey account now. And I actually pinned on my profile like the day that I posted, and I said, from here on out, I'm going to be posting on this page. And that was a huge step for me, man, because everyone that knew me saw this stuff. The Kyle Massey fitness stuff was private. No one knew about that except for my close friends that didn't judge me,
Exactly.
Yeah, and then I posted on my main account, and I have just been in love with what I do ever since. And that's what happened, bro. It's really started from the gym. It really did.
I feel like that's a lot of people's beginning of self-improvement is through the gym.
I think so. It's social proof. You need that social proof for yourself, to prove to yourself that you can do something if you stick with it consistently.
Yeah, like people always say that the gym's a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Like whatever you put in, you get out. And it's so true. And when you do have success with your physique and fitness, it's like you're saying, you get that proof to maybe do something else in your life that may seem difficult, because you know 100%. That if you put in the work, you could get something great out of it.
100%. It's just like this podcast. It just started with a thought. It's the same thing. One day you go into the gym because you had a thought that you wanted to change. You didn't like how you look. And you said, you know what? Like, how can I change this? How can I sculpt this? What can I do to be better? And you just take action, and then you see something, and then you're like, you know what? Like, I can actually do this. I can if I put my mind to it. But I think a lot of people, especially early on, and I can say this with confidence because I experienced this myself, they get stuck in complacency when it comes to the gym. And I'm sure that we all know these people, the guys that are like 60 years old, 50 years old, all that they do is go to the gym. They really don't have anything to show for outside of the gym.
That's very true.
That used to be me. I was like, I would say all these things like, oh, I'm locked in. I'm making my dreams come true. Like, but it's like, you look at my bank account, I got like $0 in there. I'm working at GNC, I'm delivering pizza. Yeah. I'm not taking what I do inside the gym and applying it outside of the gym. So that was me. I was stuck in that for like 3 years. I'd be at the gym for like 4 hours. Like, dude, you don't need 4 hours at the gym. Like, maximize your time.
Exactly.
Just imagine, like, I try to preach that to everyone. Like, start small, start with the gym, build the habits, but then you have to do something with what you create in the gym, or else you're going to get stuck there. You're going to be stagnant and complacent. Do not be that guy. And I feel like that's something that's not talked about a lot in a lot of guys' early gym stages. And it's okay. We all have to go through that phase to understand the right way of doing things. But so many young cats, they're in the gym just dicking around for 4 hours. And then it's like, what are you doing outside of the gym? They have nothing to look forward to. They wake up, the thing that they have to look forward to that day is going to the gym. You got to create other things to look forward to. Don't only be known for one thing, be known for a bunch of different things.
It's so true, bro. Like I remember back in high school, I would be thinking about working out the whole day up until the day was over. And then I would work out. And then after the workout, I'd feel depressed because in my mind, I'm like, okay, what do I do now?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. You don't know what to do. And that's okay. But you have to try to give yourself something to do. Even if it's something like going outside on a walk in nature. Going for walks is proved scientifically as well to enhance your cognitive thinking. I'm obsessed with cardio. I love thinking, disconnect from the phone, go outside. That's your brain dump. Just think about what things, like, go deep within yourself, figure out what it is that like you also like outside of the gym. And I know a lot of guys struggle with that, like on their rest days, and they don't want to take rest days, especially the younger guys. My younger guys, I tell them, they're like, bro, I want to be in here 7 days. I'm like, no, that's unhealthy. I need you to grow. I need you to recover. I also need you to build an appreciation for when you go into the gym, because it's like with anything else, you start taking it for granted. You start taking the gym for granted if you're going 7 days a week. Like it's great to go 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 3 days a week, because when you're there, you're like, oh man, like I got 3 days to go here this week. Like I'm going to give this my absolute all. It's like a privilege. So I think a great thing that people can do is on the rest days, allow themselves to take rest days, because a lot of people think that, coming from the ego, are like, oh man, no, like I got to keep the foot on the gas. I got to go to the gym every day, grind mode. It's like, no, dude, you're beating yourself up in the worst way possible. So that's huge. And something as long as like as simple as just like finding new habits, finding new things, just trying a bunch of things. Earlier I said throwing the darts, right? Like you got to just try a bunch of stuff in life, so that way you can figure it out, like what it is that you actually like to do.
For sure.
I've tried a bunch of stuff, man. Like I thought that I wanted to be a videographer. I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. I thought that I wanted to be a doctor. I thought that I wanted to be a marketing guru, but by me allowing myself to try all these different things, it's only getting me closer to like the actual desired outcome.
Yeah, your actual purpose. I feel that people want to find their purpose, but they're not actually putting themselves out there and trying new things in order to discover what it is.
Louder, say that louder, bro. That is so true.
That's exactly it.
They, you know what it is? It's the ego. You see yourself as this one thing, but that one thing might not be who you actually are. It's who you think you are.
Yeah.
It's who you think you are. And that's a big difference. And the most beautiful thing about life is that at any given moment, you can wake up one day and decide that you're going to completely change your life.
Exactly.
You can wake up one day and be like, you know what? I want to stop everything that I'm doing, and I want to live this life to the fullest. I want to figure out and find my purpose. I want to find excitement. I want to pursue excitement. Like you could be a doctor, and one day you wake up and you decide that you want to do something completely different, that you want to go to Costa Rica and just surf. You can do that. We can do anything that we want. Life is literally a single player game. We can do whatever it is that we want. And that's the coolest thing about that. But also at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, because people kind of get nervous with that information and that understanding of like, whoa, like, so it really is in my hands. It's like, holy crap. Like I create my reality. Like I have the power to do whatever it is that I want. That's a big responsibility. But on this side, on the optimistic side, we're like, dang, like I get to create this life to whatever it is that I want. I get to mold and bend reality. I get to create myself in this person, whatever I want. I get to constantly change and reinvent myself. Man, this life is so fun. This life is so fun. I get to do this life. I don't have to do this life. I get to do this life.
Yeah. Have you always been this optimistic, or was it something that you built over time?
No, I haven't, brother. And people will never understand the amount of pain that I went through to be this happy. But I'm so thankful and grateful for everything that I did experience, because it truly gave me purpose and it made me who I am today. And it makes me so on fire about life. Like, we all have our hardships. We all have our trials and tribulations. My mother was a single mother. My father wasn't in my life. I have a younger brother, so at a very early age, I was dependent on to be the man of the house when I wasn't even a man myself. I had no clue how to be a man. I've seen a lot of stuff that was tough. I've experienced a bunch of stuff that was tough, like sleeping on the floor with my mom, no food on the table, moving from home to home. I've experienced some stuff, bro, but like in those dark times, when I reflect and I look back, that's when it really started too, is because I would go into my mind and I would imagine a different reality. Like right here is reality with the lowercase r. Right here is reality with the capital R. This is where it's real. And so without even knowing what I know now, I would go into my mind subconsciously and just imagine and envision a better life, because my life that I currently was living on the outside world was too difficult to deal with. So I would daydream nonstop. So looking back, not even knowing it, I really just stepped into a completely different life. And that gave me a lot of hope and a lot of meaning. And another reason I'm such a big advocate for mental health and positivity, optimism, is because my junior year of high school, my number one best friend in the world actually committed suicide, and I had no clue how much he was suffering. And I spoke at his funeral, and that was one of the most difficult things that I've ever done in my entire life. But I live for him every single day. And you really, I think a lot of people are scared to talk about the topic death, but it actually gives me life, because I understand that tomorrow is not promised. I understand.
Yeah.
We have a start date here. We're going to have an end date. So we shouldn't be afraid to talk about death, because you can see it from a different perspective and you can use it to your advantage to be super present and to be super loving. Like, I remember I listened to a podcast with Jay Shetty and Will Smith. I love Jay Shetty. If any of you guys listening to this right now, if you don't know who Jay Shetty is, just go on to Spotify or YouTube, like listen to one of his podcasts, and you will completely change your life. Seriously. But in the podcast, Will opened up and explained how his father was going through some really dark, difficult times within his health. And the doctors told him that he had about like 30 days to live. And one day that hit Will like a truck. And he had like a moment with himself, and he said, you know what? I understand that my time here is limited with my father, but I'm going to make every single day count. And from that moment forward, he expressed how every time he saw his father for like those 30 days or however long he ended up living, they were the most beautiful days of his life, because they both knew that tomorrow wasn't promised. So like every hug, it was as if it was the last. Every hello, it was as if it was the last. Every conversation, it was as if it was the last. So when I speak to you right now, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow, because I can't predict the future. So my only focus right now is to be truly present in this moment and to just really give you, the viewers, my full heart, because we don't know if tomorrow's promised. So I think that there's a huge lesson to be learned there. And I just wanted to share that.
For sure. Very well said, bro. Where do you think how you need to think in order to start being more present and have that kind of mindset? Because it's like you're saying, right? I feel like a lot of us only start to become present when something bad might happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? As tough as it is to say this, I do think that people need to experience something at a drastic level to put something into perspective for them, because I don't know if I would be able to get to the point where I'm at if I didn't experience everything that I've experienced. But non-experienced speaking, a great way to start is just taking a nice big deep breath, because when you focus on the breath, nothing else matters. You can't focus on the breath. When you're swimming in the water and say you're drowning, what do you want to do when you're drowning? The only thing that you want is some air. You're not focused
Exactly.
on anything else other than just coming up from that water and breathing. So
Yeah.
you just slow down. Take a nice deep breath every here and there. It allows us to be present. So deep breathing, meditation, absolutely. Even if you don't know how to meditate, you're not going to know how to meditate to start. I'm still learning. I've been meditating for 6 years. I'm always going to be a student. But these are great ways to start. Coming back to gratitude, that's something that's huge. I preach this. Like, as soon as I wake up every single day, as soon as my feet touch the floor, I say as many things as possible that I'm grateful for today. And that just puts me in a positive mindset. Like, that's the first thing that's on my mind. I'm not focused on worrying. I'm not focused on what I have to do today. I'm not focused on who I have to get to. I'm not focused on what happened in the past. I'm focused on just being grateful for where I'm at and what I'm doing. So those 3 things could really go a long way. Just research meditation, try some practices, go on YouTube, try it. Practicing gratitude. If you have to start a gratitude journal, I started by doing that. That's an amazing way just to keep that constantly in your mind. As soon as you wake up, write down 3 things that you're grateful for, or say it out loud, make it an intention to say that out loud. And it forces you to be in the present moment. So,
Yeah. I noticed too, when I meditate for 10, I usually do 10 minutes. If I have more time, I'll do 20 minutes a day. And those days that I stay consistent with my meditation, those days I always have better conversations with people. I'm
always,
always more present with my family. It
always,
just makes my life quality way better.
always. And it's that's such a huge return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we not intentionally make time out of our day to do things that are going to allow us to be more present?
Yeah.
If you say that your purpose here is to lead in service for others, which mine is, I have to master myself in the morning.
Exactly.
That's a non-negotiable. That is a non-negotiable for me. Before I step foot out into this world, I must master myself and I must master my inner world. So meditation, prayer, gratitude, journaling, reading, breathing, some stretching, blood flow, get my mind right, those are absolutely non-negotiables. And then once that's done, then I feel fully comfortable and confident to go out into the world and interact with people because I know that I'm coming from my heart. I'm coming from the correct place. And that makes a huge difference in the day. Try that seriously. Everyone, master yourself in the morning. And I guarantee you, everything else that you do in the day is going to be so incredible. And people are going to pick up on that energy. When people see you, they're going to be like, wow, this man's coming from the heart. He's real and he's authentic. He cares about people. And that's why I love social media, because I'm able to express myself from here. When people go on Kyle Massey, when people go on K Massey's page, I know for a fact people know that I'm coming from the heart because I'm here for the people. You look on my page, I rarely talk about myself. It's no I, it's we. It's always we. It's an idea of what we all can do and be. So, master yourself in the morning so that way you can lead in service in the night.
For sure. So walk us through kind of your morning routine. What time are you waking up and completing these tasks before you attack your day?
Yeah, so I have to hold the title. Well, no, I don't have to, but I get to hold the most locked in man in all of New Jersey title. I claim that. I am the most locked in man in all of New Jersey, and all my friends say it. It's the hilarious.
That's awesome.
But I wake up around 4:30 in the morning, and I do all those things. I go right into gratitude the moment that I wake up. I immediately say what it is that I'm thankful for. If I want to write it down, I write it down. And then I go right into meditation. I go right into breath work. And while I'm meditating, I just visualize what it is that I'm going to do in this lifetime. And I really tap into that state, because the key to manifestation, to my understanding, and all of the highest level speakers, all of the highest level people that have done the most incredible things in this world, it's how long you can hold that feeling state. And there's a book by a gentleman named Neville Goddard, who I study immensely. It's called Power of Awareness. And in that book, he goes very in depth about how powerful it is to be able to hold that feeling state when you are visualizing something. And the people that manifest effortlessly and easily, it's because they're able to hold that feeling state for a long time. So the more that you visualize, the more that you daydream, it's only helping you get to that point faster. So those are non-negotiables. Hydrating as soon as I wake up first thing in the morning is a non-negotiable. Mountain Valley water, salt, some Celtic sea salt, absolutely non-negotiable. Some lemon, some apple cider vinegar, some greens. And I'll do some stretching just to open up my hips. We store a lot of stagnant energy in, your lower chakra. And especially as men, you need to transmute that energy, especially if you have as men, we have sexual energy. So you need to be able to transmute that. So I do a bunch of stretching in the morning, and then non-negotiables, I go right outside and I get sun on the face. And then once I'm done that, probably around like 6 o'clock, I go right to the cold plunge, sprint to the cold plunge. And I plunge for, I could plunge up to like 10 minutes, but I have been doing a lot of research on the benefits of Wim Hof breathing while you're doing the plunge. And Wim Hof explains how you don't need to plunge for this amount of time. You can get the same amount of benefits in a shorter period if you do the breathing techniques properly. But I'm not going to go into detail on that because that'll just take too long. So if you guys want to learn techniques, Wim Hof, he has an app. He's the man. If you don't know who Wim Hof is, this man literally is the Iceman. He is the Iceman. We went to Antarctica barefoot. Like he's an absolute legend. So plunge, infrared sauna. I meditate in the sauna still when I'm there, and then I hit the steam room. And then it's about like 7 o'clock, and from there I'm ready to go. I'm
ready to attack the day.
Ready to attack the day. Ready to make some people smile, man. Ready to make some people smile.
For sure. And what time are you going to bed so you're able to get up at 4:30 consistently? Because I'm trying to, like, I have been waking up for 4:30 for a long time, but recently it's been difficult, and I think it's just because of my habits before bed and not going to bed the same time every single night. So what advice would you give me for that?
If I'm being completely honest, bro, I feel like right now we have unlimited energy, especially because we're young and we take care of ourselves so well. So like I work full time at a restaurant to provide for this stream. Like obviously my goal and what I am going to achieve is be able to be and do social media and coaching full time. But I have bills to pay. So like I work at a restaurant 5 days a week. People don't even know this, but like I work at a restaurant from 3 p.m. to about 12:30 at night every single day. So I get home around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then I fall asleep. So I don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. There are days where I allow myself to sleep more just by listening to my body, but I understand how well I take care of myself. And I also understand that I'm only going to be this young once. And if I want to get to where I know that I'm going to get to, I have to put in the fucking work. And I simply just don't have enough time in my day if I don't wake up at 4:30 to do all of the things that I want to accomplish. So, but if you do have time, what I would recommend is to reset your circadian rhythm. That's something that's incredible that people can do. As soon as you wake up, go outside, get sun on the skin, on the face, get outside in nature. And then if you can go outside during sunset around 6 p.m., get some sun on the eyes, on the skin, on the face, and that'll drastically help change your circadian rhythm. Some supplements that you can take that are great for improving your sleep quality, magnesium glycinate. So many of us, I'd argue like 90% of the population are extremely magnesium deficient. So magnesium glycinate's an absolutely incredible powerhouse supplement that you can take before bed. Glycine as well, that'll help you get deeper sleep. And then also blue light blocker glasses. Get off the phone, cut down the screen time. Like get that artificial light will keep you up so much longer. So do those 3 things. Make your room completely pitch black. What else? I'm trying to think in biohacking points. Make your room completely black. When you're cold before bed, the colder you are, it allows you to get a deeper rest. So that's great. And then one more thing that you can do is you can get magnesium spray. And if you actually spray it on the bottom of your feet before bed, it improves the quality and duration of your sleep too. So I'd recommend just doing all those things and just really honing in on your health and understanding that the time where you're about to fall asleep, you have to understand how important that time is. That's when your mind has your subconscious mind is at the highest peak, right? So you're able to tap into that mind and figure out what you're going to do for the next day and days ahead. So you need to like really be careful about what you're consuming. So I mean, it's just like if you go to bed and you watch a horror movie directly before you fall asleep, you're probably going to have nightmares and you're not going to be able to go to sleep. You're not going to be able
Exactly.
to fall asleep. And then how's that going to impact the next day that you're going to have? But if you go to sleep, reading a book about like how you can improve your life and be more positive and help others or work on your business, you're going to fall asleep thinking about that. And then the next day you're going to wake up with that mindset and that already in your mind. And you're gonna be like, okay, like I'm locked in. Like I don't even know like why, but like I'm locked in. And it's because of what you did before you fell asleep.
Yeah. And I think like your story is very inspiring because many people will say, oh, I can't do these things in my day because I didn't get enough sleep last night.
Dude,
But
excuses.
yeah, like look at you, like you're working a full shift and then going to sleep, sleeping for like 3 hours at most. And then you're still getting up and like, getting everything done.
Dude, I don't care what I have to do. The only focus of mine is the mission. Nothing else matters. And I understand I'm very healthy. I take incredible care of this temple. So with that understanding, I have unlimited energy. And that's an affirmation that I say to myself. Even if I feel myself getting tired, I don't resonate with that. That's a limiting belief because the body follows the mind, like I said earlier. So, brother, if I wake up and I'm tired, I'll start pumping out push-ups like there is no tomorrow, just like screaming like, I have unlimited energy. I have unlimited energy. Like I'm the most locked in man in all of New Jersey. It doesn't matter. And you'll see, like once you start telling your mind these things, it goes away. And then you're wired. And then you can go somewhere with that. And that's why affirmations are another great thing that people can do because you're enhancing that psychological state. You're kind of like tricking the mind into something. And it works incredibly, incredibly well. So affirmations are another great thing that people can do if they like wake up like tired, constantly telling themselves that.
Dude, I think you say it best. I can relate to that so much because basically there was a point in my life, like when I was younger, where I was getting 3 hours of sleep every single night. And I was still able to like go to school, go to work, hit the gym. Like my day was full. But then I met this guy and he's very like science based, right? Like he went to school and stuff. And I was telling him how much sleep I was getting, and I was still waking up at 4:30 to go train at 5. And he told me it was bad. And he mentioned to me the importance of, even if you're not going to get enough sleep, don't go to the gym. And I just considered what he said. I didn't even like put it into practice. But then all of a sudden, I started putting that into practice. I'm like, oh, I'm too tired to go to the gym. When like 2 years prior to that, I was going to the gym no matter how I felt. And like now it's exactly what you're saying. I'm trying to rewire that back.
Yeah.
Like, I have the energy.
You do. You absolutely do. Brother, you have this podcast up and running. Like you're already out here getting it for yourself at such an early age. Dude, we have unlimited energy right now. We can do anything that we want whenever, wherever. We have unlimited energy, especially if you tell yourself that. But that's a limiting belief. And I personally, I refuse to believe that. I refuse.
Yeah, and it's especially if you're someone who's ambitious and has a lot of dreams, has a lot to do on a daily basis. You kind of need to have that mindset. Like something's got to be sacrificed, and that thing is going to be sleep.
Absolutely. And to add on to what you just said, I feel that a lot of people that don't have that energy on a deeper level, it's because they're not in alignment with what they're supposed to be doing in life.
Yes.
When you are operating from the highest level of consciousness, which is authenticity and love, you can do absolutely anything because, as the expression is, fueled from the heart. You're fueled from the heart. You have that passion, that burning desire to help others and to spread light. When you stop being so damn selfish and you start doing this life for other people and you stop thinking deeply, you stop thinking about yourself and you start thinking deeply about the others. Like that's a saying that I say a lot. Like I think lightly of myself and deeply of the others.
Mm-hmm.
You can wake up at any given time because what you're doing is not for you. It's for a bigger purpose. And this was something that I was thinking about the other day, is that everyone wants to be an overnight success. And you know why? It's because they're not in alignment with they're not in alignment with their true calling. They're not in alignment with what it is that they actually want to do in life. And so, like, I don't want to be an overnight success. Like, this has been like a 7-year thing. Like, Kyle Massey Fitness Days, this has been since 2018. And I'm only at 9,000 followers, right? There's people that are overnight success that have blew up their accounts in 3 months, selling their souls, posting haram ass shit, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not me, bro. Like, I am a man of God. I am a man of God, and I'm righteousness, and I'm on this path, the correct path. And it's going to be a surprise when it happens. And I want it to be a surprise because I know that my time's coming. I know time is coming. I am so confident in my direction. I am so certain that I'm going to look back on this in 3 years and I'm going to be at like 1 million followers. I know for certainty. And so the fact that I have that deep conviction, it allows me just to have fun. There's no stress. I get to do this. I know that it's going to happen. So why am I worrying about the when? I don't need to worry about that. And I caught myself like a month ago. And I don't like to talk about the past. And I don't like to talk about the past unless it's for spiritual purposes, unless it's for self-improvement. Because, fun fact, a year ago, pretty much today, I had the honor of living and training with monks for a month in their temple. So I embodied a monk lifestyle for an entire month.
Oh, that's sick.
One of the number one things that they taught me and talked about is how crucial it is to not talk about the past unless it's to your benefit. So how I'm talking right now, it's for my benefit. But yeah, I would actually love to share that story too. The more that I think about it, I would love to share living like a monk and how that allowed me to be where I'm at today, if that's cool.
I was about to ask you, bro, you know how like interesting that is? Like, you brought up Jay Shetty. I actually listened to his book, Thinking Like a Monk, and like it was so interesting.
Yeah. I have his book right here. If you see it right here.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, literally right there. I love Jay Shetty. But yeah, so again, to piggyback off of the manifestation thing, how kind of like this opportunity fell into my lap almost in a sense. And I think it's because, actually I know it's because I've been preparing myself for this for so long. And, you know, I've been so obsessed with like monks, Buddhist monks, like just how they embody life, how they see things, their beliefs, their mindset. And so I just was like, okay, like, how can I acquire more of their traits? Easiest way to go about it is go right to the source. So I found Jay Shetty, would listen to his podcast nonstop. I've probably listened to every single one of his podcasts so many times. And I really do believe that attracted this opportunity for me. So randomly, coincidentally, I don't believe in coincidences. Coincidences are not a real thing.
I agree.
Last year, one of my best friends got the opportunity to experience this monk mode retreat. And he was going to a temple at the time because he had a monk friend, and one of his monk friends was like, hey, like, you should come to the temple. We talk about their book, the Bhagavad Gita, which is an immensely profound book. I think that you would benefit just from listening and toning in on one of their sessions. So, you know, we went, and they were like, hey, like, you guys are some tapped in guys. Like, you guys see things differently. You guys seem like the perfect men to experience this retreat that we're trying to give to people. You guys will be like the first people. And we're like, oh, cool. What is it? And they're like, it's called the Monk Mode Retreat, where you come to Texas and you stay and live with us for 3 weeks and you embody the monk lifestyle completely. And like, just got thrown into my lap. We didn't have to pay for anything. And right then and there, we said, absolutely. So within 2 weeks, we drove there. It was a 24-hour car ride.
Holy.
But me and my best friend, Jordan, we wanted to drive there because we wanted to earn it. You know, like, it's easy to just hop on a plane and fly there. Like, this was an incredible experience that was just given to me. Like, I want to prove to myself like how bad I want this. That was a long ass drive, bro. Oh my God. That felt like 18 days. I'm not even joking.
I can
But
imagine.
it
Holy.
was also so cool though, because I had my best friend in the car and we're doing this profound thing, traveling the world in a car, going to train with monks. And like, it was just so much fun. We had the most amazing conversations. I got to know him on a deeper level. We had so many memories that would not have been possible if we just flew. So we went there, and from start to finish for 3 weeks, we embodied the monk lifestyle, fully vegetarian based diet. I never tried the vegetarian diet before until I went there. So 100% vegetarian based diet, very, 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 very strict routine. Waking up at like 4 a.m. As soon as you wake up, you have to cleanse your body. So we'd hop in the shower, make ourselves all nice in our robes, and you go right into prayer and meditation. And when I tell you, that was one of the most difficult things that I've done in my life. That was one of the most difficult things that I've done in my life, because these guys can meditate for like 6 hours straight nonstop.
Holy
And
damn.
you're just sitting there in lotus pose and they're just meditating. And I'm sitting here, my first day, you just get thrown into the wolves in Texas, in a temple, 5 a.m. in a robe that you've never worn before. You know, I've been meditating for 5 years. You know, I have 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but like 4 hours, brother, that's a long time. So
Yeah, I can imagine.
you're just trying my best, man. But there's such a lesson to be learned in everything about meditation and how important it is to them. And so we would meditate for hours upon hours. Then once we're done meditation, we would all eat breakfast together, all eat lunch together. The food was prayed to before we ate it. We all ate on the floor because they wanted to acknowledge that we're all equal. We ate with our hands because they wanted to acknowledge that we're all equal. We're all the same person. No one is better than anyone. So it was a very humbling experience. Like, I've never eaten just with my hands before. I mean, obviously, if it's like an apple or something,
Yeah.
you have like carbohydrates like rice and stuff. It's very different eating it with your hand. So we would have like family dinner together, and then we would go into the Word. We'd go into the Bhagavad Gita, their Word, and we would have very high level monks sit up, and we just went in, and we would just ask them any question under the sun. We would read the book together, learn about things, and as soon as we were done like mastering ourselves for the day, that was our day. The rest of the day was give back to service. So whether that's like donating books or going to events and speaking, or doing projects for the community, working at a farm, we would give back as much as possible, because the monks don't make any money. It's all through donations. So we would just give back as much as possible. But like I said earlier, one of the best things that I picked up on that experience is to not talk about the past unless it's used to your benefit. That's one thing that they really harped on. So I'm very aware of myself whenever I talk about the past.
Yeah. What were some other teachings that you learned in that experience that you still use today?
Controlling lust. Controlling lust and the power of controlling lust. And how powerful it is, how powerful celibacy is, how important it is as a man that is on the path of righteousness. They were so tapped in that if they saw another monk have a conversation with another female, another monk would go into that conversation and monitor the conversation. You weren't allowed.
Oh, really?
You weren't allowed to have a conversation one-on-one with a female, because the monk the other monk made sure that the other monk was controlling their sexual energy at all times. So that was like another thing. That was a rule that needed to be made there. They were like, semen retention the entire time, like no sex, like no nothing. Like if you have lustful thoughts, you absolutely need to work on transmuting it the moment that you can. And so I'd say that something that really changed my life was celibacy. Something that really changed my life was going super deep into semen retention. And again, these are things that are esoteric. These are things that aren't talked about. But if you go into books like this book right here, Think and Grow Rich, one of the most powerful books in the entire world, they talk about the importance of semen retention as a man, and how the greatest thinkers of our time have done incredible things because their mind is not coming from lust. Their mind is coming from love, and their direction is clear-headed. So I'd say I'd say that's probably like without a doubt one of the most important things that I picked up on and I still learn and practice to this day. And that has completely changed so much for me. And especially as a man, when you have interactions with females know when you're lustful. Females can see it in your eyes. If you're at the gym, if you have wandering eyes, these men don't think this, but when you are just subconsciously looking at every female from left to right, acknowledging as if she's an object,
Yeah.
they know, bro. They know. And when you are on a very long semen retention streak, I don't like to say streak lifestyle, females pick up on that power and they acknowledge that power and they love having conversations with you because they know that you're a confident man. You're not afraid to look them in their eye when you're having a conversation with them. They know if you're coming from lust or love. And I think that that's so cool because, like, why aren't we doing everything that we can to make the feminine feel comfortable and allow them to be the true feminine? That's the role as the masculines, to be confident so that way the feminine can be the feminine and the masculine can be the masculine.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, I think it's a practice that every man needs to do because everything is so like sexualized nowadays.
It is.
You know, like you go on social media, you see ads in public for certain stores, whatever. It's like, it's everywhere, man.
Dude, and you know what? That's why the porn industry is corrupt, because they make so much money. It's not for the right reason. It's not for the right reason at all.
I agree.
I think that I read a study one time, bro, where stopping jerking off was harder than quitting meth. How insane is that, bro? Stopping jerking off is harder than quitting one of the most harmful, dangerous drugs in the world. That is nuts. That is not normal. And from a very early age, we live in this very hypersexualized world because they want you to be a weak man. They want you to fall into lust. They want you to submit. They don't want you to be powerful. You know, like imagine if there was 100,000 celibate people walking this earth with the level of consciousness, love, positivity that like we all possess.
Yeah.
It'd be a completely different world, and the higher ups do not want that. But that's why you have to stand on the battlefield. And that's why, like, whenever there is temptation, you know, we're human beings, we're men, we're young. There's gonna obviously be temptation. That's completely fine. But what matters is remembering why you're doing what you're doing. And so I always catch myself whenever these moments happen, I'm just like, it's okay. You know what? Like, I'm a very healthy man. High libido is a great sign of good health. That's how I look at it. You know, I don't think that, like, I don't tell myself, oh, I'm like, why am I so horny all the time, man? It's like, no, like, you're a young, in shape guy. Like, high test and high libido is great. That's great. But you have to understand that we are on the front lines right here. And that's how I view my life, is I am on the front lines standing up for every single thing that I believe in. And I have everyone behind me looking up to me. And they're counting on me to be righteous. They're counting me to transmute these sexual energies. They're counting on me to not conform to lust. And that is something that the world absolutely needs to be more known of. Like, the world needs to know how detrimental lust is, especially to a man at a very young age when your brain is first developing.
I 100% agree, bro. I was listening to a podcast with Patrick Bet-David and some higher ups of Pornhub.
Yep.
And like, they actually in their own minds believe that there's no detriment to what they're doing and like their company. It's insanity.
Absolutely insane, bro. You know why? You want to know why, bro? It's because these guys are making money.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Because these guys are making money and they only care about the money. They're not in it for the people. And the fact that they're making money, they prey on the weak men. But that's why we need to continue standing on the front lines. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. And that's how I live my life. I'm on the front lines. I'm going to take these people down. Respectfully.
Yeah.
With love. I'm going to uppercut them with love. You know, I'm going to uppercut them with love. I'm not going to uppercut them with hate. I don't come from hate. But I'm absolutely uppercutting, elbowing these motherfuckers that are out to break men, because I will not stand for it, because I know what it's like to be that weak, lustful man that falls into that horrible lifestyle. That is the worst feeling I genuinely believe that's one of the worst feelings in the world, is when you just experience just a very bad downward spiral of lust and falling into porn, falling into semen retention, falling into a bunch of sex. Like that is a very, very, very shitty feeling.
Yeah. I know, bro. I agree with you 100%. Like, it needs to be more talked about. You need to actually try to resist yourself from those urges because it's not doing you any good.
No, it's not doing you any good. And also at the same time, if you are a man that wants to provide for your family one day and you want to have a great wife, by you just being lustful, sleeping with all these women, you're pushing that woman so much further away from you. You're not attracting that great woman for you. Like,
Yeah.
and then you're going to be frustrated because you're not finding the right woman. It's because you're not being the best you. You don't deserve a great woman. You don't deserve a queen because you're not the king yet. You haven't controlled it yet. I really do believe one of the last steps to this self-improvement, to this life as a man, is being able to control your sexual energy and being able to control lust. And if you can do that, I firmly believe you can do absolutely anything you put your mind to in the world. I firmly believe that.
Yeah, because like as a man, it's very difficult, and if you're able to overcome that, like what else can you not overcome?
You can overcome anything if you can control lust. Fact.
For
And
sure.
if you are a man listening to this podcast right now, or even if you are a female listening to this podcast, I encourage you just to go celibate for 30 days and really take note of how different your life is from day 1 to day 30. You are going to substantially see a drastic difference in the quality of your life, in the people that you attract, in the conversations that you have. It is a completely different life in the best way possible, in the absolute best way possible. It's a completely different life.
Yeah. Out of all the topics we've spoken about, I think this one's like the most important for sure.
I completely agree, bro. And I'm very glad that we got to this point because a lot of people don't talk about that. And I, as a man, early on when I started this, I was very hesitant to talk about this because I was afraid and self-conscious about how people would view me. But that fear is no longer in here because I do this for other people. I don't care how outlandish this sounds. This is the truth. Read the Bible, read the word, study the greatest thinkers, study the greatest inventors. They all preach this one thing, and that is harnessing your sexual energy. They all preach controlling lust, transmuting lust, coming from your heart. And if you can do that, you can do absolutely anything because that's your creative energy. That's your chi energy. That is your creative energy. And we're going to get that message out there because so many guys waste their potential by falling into that trap. And I refuse to allow more men to fall victim of that because I once was that man and I felt my life was like shit. I hated it, bro. I hated it. Doing it all for the wrong reasons, not having any purpose, being super lustful, waking up, just feeling like shit, groggy, foggy headed. You can't think right when you're thinking from lust. Fact, you can't think right.
And it's exactly like you said, all the greatest thinkers, the Bible says it, and even within yourself, in your soul, when you're very lustful, it doesn't feel right. You feel bad about yourself. You feel ashamed.
No, you feel so ashamed. And you know that you're not the gut knows, the heart knows, the mind, they all know you're not supposed to do this, but you just choose to do it. That's why it is so important, and I want to say this as well. It is so important to understand the subconscious mind and understand the power that your subconscious mind has. Do I have the book? Power of Your Subconscious. Okay. Well, I'm reading the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and it immensely talks about this. Like, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, you need to visualize as two separate things. The conscious mind is the gatekeeper. The conscious mind is the gatekeeper that is in control of what comes in and what comes out. Whatever comes in through that gate, it's all the subconscious mind, which is the most powerful thing. The subconscious mind is so much more powerful than the conscious mind. But to be able to harness the power of the subconscious mind, you have to control the conscious mind. So you have to consciously take decision, intention, and action to whenever you have that lustful thought, whenever you are thinking incorrectly, to switch it. Don't allow yourself to continue staying in that state because it's going to linger longer. Like we talked about earlier, feeling is the secret. We're men. we've all daydreamed about or fantasized about something, and then you just think about it. You have no clue what it's doing to your mind. You have no clue the detriment. And I encourage everyone to read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, because that book goes extremely in detail about how you can control that. That or The Way of the Superior Man is one of the best books that I've ever read. And if you are a man on the self-improvement path, if you are a man that is looking to learn how to control your lust, the Way of the Superior Man is the book for you, without a doubt.
100%. I need to get to reading that. I've heard how useful it is.
This is your sign. Coincidence is not a thing. This is absolutely your sign to read that book. I actually, whenever I'm finished a book, I give it to my best friends. And it's really cool because then they give it to someone, then they give it to someone, then they give it to someone. So use that as your inspiration to finishing a book, because then you can give it to one of your best friends. You guys can talk about what you learned and then share it to another person.
For sure. No, that's a great idea. All right. So my next question for you is, what are you most proud of about yourself through this whole entire self-improvement journey?
I am most proud that I never gave up on myself and my dream. There's been a bunch of setbacks that I've had. I've thought about quitting social media a bunch of times. I stopped posting for a while. I thought about stopping the gym. I thought about going back to school. But I never gave up on myself and my dream. And that is hands down the most number one thing that I am proud of, is that I never gave up on myself, and I will never give up on myself. And if you are in my corner, you will not give up on yourself either, because we're a team and there's no I, it's all we. So yeah, I never gave up, and I never stopped trying, no matter how hard times got, no matter shit hit the fan. I get absolutely kicked in the face. I get curb stomped. I just brush that shit off, and I still get back up, because I understood that it's a part of the process. And I do it for the plot. I always remind myself, do it for the plot. I want people to be able to look back on my story and just be like, man, this guy went through hell and back to get to where he got to. This really inspires me.
Yeah. So is that what you bring to mind when you do get those feelings of quitting and stopping?
Absolutely. I just remind myself it's all part of the process. I'm supposed to have these bad days. The bad days, I'm doing it for the plot. I overcome. I get stronger. I'm able to share a difficult situation that I went through with someone that might experience the same thing. And again, whenever I feel that way, or whenever I am unmotivated or I get stepped on, I remind myself that there's a lot of people out there that are counting on me, that I can leave with the impression of increase. And I do it for them. I don't do it for myself. And when I understand that I can do it for when I understand the power that I have to do it for others, I'm up. I don't care what. I don't care how I'm feeling. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care if I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm picking myself up, because there's people that are counting on me.
100%. All right, my next question kind of, I guess, is a little bit related to that. Is, what is one thing you would say to the audience that will give them hope in their self-improvement journey? Maybe going through the same things you've gone through, thinking about quitting and stuff.
There's way more people than you know that are counting on you. And what I mean by that is, whether you know it or not, your younger brother, your younger sister, your neighbor, the lady that you met for the first time just walking around your apartment complex that you gave a smile to, you have no clue how much of an impact you can leave on those people by you standing up for yourself and your dream and what you believe in. And you can help a lot of people by you being the hero of your own life, but you have to be the hero of your own life. So I think what gives me the most hope, and what can give people the most hope, is that there's just a lot of people out there that are struggling in silence that could really benefit from you being the hero. And we live in a dark and light world. It's definitely a spiritual warfare out there. And if you have the power and you have the courageousness to stand up for what you believe in when you're not feeling it, you're going to be able to inspire so many more people than you know when they feel like they have nothing left in the tank. So it really just piggies on what I just said, is do it for the other people, because they are counting on you.
Yeah, I think that's very important. People don't realize the effect that they have on others.
You don't.
Even, like even you, me hearing your story about how you're still able to get up every morning, you're getting way less sleep than me. You're doing a lot. It's like, why can't I do it?
It's true.
And that's probably the biggest thing I'm going to take away from this podcast is like I'll think about Kyle when I'm being lazy and stuff and I don't want to get up because, if he could do it, why can't I do it?
It's true. We're all the same person, and I want to end that with allowing everyone right here, right now, to know that you are more than capable of living the life that you've always imagined. Every single person that you look up to in this world, they are no different than you. They are no different. The only difference is that they said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. They hugged it out. They went through the mud. They got kicked. They got stomped on. They went through adversity. They cried. They felt pain. But they got back up. They got back up again and got back up again. They never stopped believing in themselves. They never stopped believing in themselves. No matter how bad things got, they always reminded themselves that they can make it happen. So just know, every single person that you look up to in this world is absolutely no different than you. If you want to do something, you can do it. But you have to just believe in yourself. They are no different than you. No one is no different than you. They just said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And they just did it. That's it.
Exactly. All right, Kyle, I'm going to ask you the last question of the podcast. I ask every guest this question. How do you want to be remembered?
Woo! How do I want to be remembered? I want to be... Wow, that's a great question, brother. I want to be remembered as a man that left everyone with a smile. Honestly, if there's anything that I want to be remembered by, is that I made everyone feel better. I made everyone feel good about themselves. Whenever they were around me, they always felt better. Whenever they were feeling down, they knew that they had someone that they could go to and they could count on to make them feel better. I care so much about the others, and I give my absolute love to every single person. So just I want to be remembered as making people smile.
Amazing, bro. Amazing.
Thank you.
So,
brother.
yeah, it's been a great podcast. Do you want to shout out anything before I close it out?
It was great, man. First and foremost, I just want to thank you, Anthony, for allowing me to be on here. This was such an amazing, fun conversation. You're a great dude.
Thank you, bro.
You're only 20 years old. You're absolutely crushing it. I am very excited to see how far you're going to take this life because the sky is the limit for you, bro. So thank you very much.
That means a lot. Thank you, bro.
It was an honor. I do not say that lightly. The fact that you're 20 years old, being able to have this discussion the way that we did, you're on the right path, and it's only a matter of time. You're going to do great things, bro. And I say that with full conviction. So excited for our friendship to grow. Excited for maybe one day, not even one day, definitely one day where, I fly out and I come on this podcast again. You fly out and we're in a big studio together, and we can look back on this moment and be like, man, remember when we were on like a little Zoom call? Now we're talking about these things, dude. We really did it. So
100%.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you. If you guys want to follow me, my @ everywhere is Kyle Massey _. And if anyone is interested in taking their life to the next level, I am an online fitness and mental health coach. This is my passion. This is literally why I'm here in the world. I would love to help you become the best version of yourself through my aesthetic mind and body coaching. So let me know.
Great, bro. All right. To everyone listening, this has been episode 52 of season 3. Thank you for making it this far. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Spotify, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Passion goes places. Don't forget that, guys. Passion goes places and thoughts become things.